All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Again, 1 day left on the site-wide flash sale. Massive gains being made here. Not to plug it too much here, but 1 day left, guys. Multiple gains taken today in both services, over 130 points on ES, in the money over 500 on NQ, SPXL, TQQQ, 10%, 15% a piece here. Really good gains here lately, and we've been talking about this every day. Very textbook. I mean, you can't really draw this pattern up any better here. Textbook bull pattern. It's amazing to me that there was really anybody kind of doubting it at this point. But again, CPI coming in cooler than expected, not by a ton, but cooler than expected here. And we had that big blast off this morning. So taking a look here at the futures, big move, little dip, and then big pop. And, a move from 54.9 or 53.90 all the way to 54.60 essentially. So, about a 60-point move in, pretty much like an hour, very, very, mere minutes really in the grand scheme of things. Russell 2000 as well. This was the big winner on the day, even though it's come back in off the highs since Jay Powell's press conference. Look at the move here. 2030 or 2035 to 2095. That's a huge move for the Russell. It was up 3% at one point. It is down off the highs right now, but still it is the leader. And we've talked about this quite a bit here. Our small cap's going to take over. Not everybody, but a lot of people have been pounding the table about breadth. Oh, it's not fair. Apple's skewing the market. Nvidia is skewing the market. And again, ignore the fake print there. But, even Microsoft, I talked about this yesterday, very nice bull pattern, and that's on breakout too. But the big criticism has been breadth this, breadth that, the weighting. But today, 200 or 300 advanced decline, 60%, that's not bad. And if we look at the heat map, really the only weak area is energy. So it's not just big tech today. When you see the Russell really powering up like that with a power gap, granted it came off the highs. Again, I think this will probably remain choppy until around, I would say, June OPEX. That's when these kind of turning points tend to happen. But we could get that small cap summer, and if that happens, again, Nvidia doesn't need to pump, Apple doesn't need to pump, but again, a lot of people crying foul about the Apple move. But again, go back to yesterday. It's just a monthly bull flag for a year. This is a power pattern here. You don't want to fight that, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of that. This is the king of the market. Yes, Nvidia's been the king for the last year or so, but that's only because Apple's been taking a break. And you can make a case that Apple's been letting Nvidia be the king. Apple's always been the king, and that's a power pattern there. So, but big move here. We're coming in off the highs. I talked about this morning. I mentioned this to members. Don't be surprised if there's a little bit of volatility later. I'm actually just shocked that it took this long. We're into, we got close to 54.50. There's a pretty fat GEX wall there. My guess is we're going to close below, 54.20 area. I would imagine that's probably right in the wheelhouse of where we're going to close here today, unless something changes. But that's kind of where the GEX is lined up at the moment. There was a lot at 54.50. I'm not surprised they backed us off it, but I am surprised that it took so long. They could have done that at any point here. They got, perhaps max bullishness here in the short term, and pretty good sell into the end of the day. But right now, trend is up. Very good price action. I do think we need to chew a little bit here. I don't think we're going through 54.50 anytime soon. We probably need to chew, maybe even into OPEX. Taking a look at, it's a big gap, right? It's basically a 1% gap for the Qs. I think, a little over 1% we're up still. So we'll probably need to do some backing and filling here. But remember, it's not unwarranted. We just consolidated for a month. So powerful pattern here, fake out, very nice reversal into our cycle date. And we've gone really up nicely since then. But market's coming in a little bit here. As we get closer to the end of the day, I'm expecting us to close below 54.20, and we may need to do some more backing and filling to get through this. But very good move here, and just if you're long like I am, continue to scale out on the way up. No greed. I do expect the markets to go a lot higher throughout summer, but that doesn't mean that they have to. I can always be wrong. Things can change on a dime, so that's why we scale out on the way up and just continue book those profits as they come. But it's been a very nice last month or so here. Anyways, triple Qs here up 1.15. Again, I talked about the little macro target of 470 lining up with 5,400. We obviously got there. We gapped above it. We're probably going to have to retest some of these levels here as we get into the next couple of days. But again, good move here. You know, I don't know. Is 500 a possibility? You know, by the end of summer, it's certainly possible. Not that far away at this point. IWM we talked about, again, continuing to back off here. Again, I like what it's doing on the weekly, though. So I like the higher lows here. I like that we gap down to start the week and then having a rally back. Again, we'll see where the weekly close is here on this. But so far, not a problem there. Nice to see small caps come back, even if we are backing off here as we get closer to the end of the day. Again, yields are coming. Yields are getting a little bit of balance. We'll talk about those in a second. But, you know, that does, you know, affect the IWM a little bit more disproportionately. But nonetheless, pretty good move. Dow here down 99 cents. Now, a lot of this, I believe, is CRM and UNH. Again, healthcare, really, and energy are the only two sectors that are really in any sort of trouble today. Pretty much everything else is doing fine. And you have Goldman, which came off the highs. Yeah, XLF a little bit soft. Yeah, down 4 cents. But Goldman here coming down, again, second largest Dow component, UNH, the largest, down 1%. That does weigh down on the Dow. Price cap weighted, I tend to not put too much weight into the Dow just because of that. But yeah, it was a little weaker today. By the way, speaking of weaker today, GME down 15%. If we take out these lows here and close below them, it's going to 20. And there's, you know, that's where all that call gex is. So I showed you guys that the other day. Very interested to see how that plays out. Those calls expire in a week, a little bit more than a week. AMC down 5.5. All right, SMH here again up 2.36, coming off the highs. Like everything else, there's the stocks up 2.1. We'll see. Does it want to go up back to that trend line here? Again, I think the market's probably got to chew through some of this supply. A little bit overbought here in the short term, but again, when you do these consolidation patterns, you can get overbought. So just be aware of that. IGV, again, beautiful failure. I've been on this one since day one. I thought that this would fail. It did. Spiked the 50 weekly MA and nice up move. I'd like to see a weekly close above this red. But so far, IGV holding up well, and that's despite CRM being down. So Oracle reporting yesterday, big move there, up almost 15%. Dow Transport's up as well. I like the higher high finally. Right, so Dow Transport's finally getting a higher high. Yes, they came back in, but again, this has time to firm up and push higher here. I just want to see it stay firm, right? Stay in this 15.2 area, kind of firm up, and then you can push higher. Again, I'm kind of in the camp now based on what I'm seeing here, where it's just probably going to be, you know, after OPEX for a lot of things. Right now, very good rally here. All right, 2-year yield spiking, so new low, but again, yields just continue to be strong, right? Even when they're weak, they're strong, and that's kind of been my base case. Look at the recovery there for the 2-year intraday. It's been the base case. Like, I don't think yields are going much lower. If they do, it's not going to stay down for very long. 5-year backing off, but then coming back up, and then the long end of the curve was still holding up pretty well, with kind of like a weaker spike, right? The 2-year had like a deeper spike. So the long end of the curve holding up a little bit better. I still think 4.2 and then 4.34, 4.33 on the 30-year could get hit, but you know, yield's still holding up, and they got to be respected. This is a secular trend now. XHB here up 3.6, again coming off the highs like everything else, but again back above this trend line here, and we'll see where that closes out the week. So kind of flirted with it, spiked it on the weekly close, and we'll see if I can stay firm into Friday. VNQ, again, like a lot of things, you know, it just didn't get there. It just got so close, right? We're looking for that trend line there. I would call this, so I did a video on trend lines a few weeks ago. I would probably call this a hit now, and I would just do that. That's how I would look at it. All right, it got close enough that we can just say, okay, here's through the high, that's the trend line hit. But nonetheless, we talked about this bull pattern, and you got it. It is coming in off the highs. It is hitting that trend line, but you know, that bull pattern could have been played potentially. Obviously, if you did, you would be taking profits up in that area. But Still pretty good pattern. XLF, again, we talked about that on the weaker side here today. Technically, the head and shoulder is triggered still. We'll see where it closes the end of the week. Again, it's a minor head and shoulder because you could just make a case on the weekly. You're just consolidating. But XLF was a little soft. JPM was down, I noticed a little bit. KRE, nice bounce. Again, got to hold these pivots here on a weekly close. If it does, it's still okay. And then KBE, this is likely going to negate this head and shoulders unless we sell off in the next, 15 minutes, which is it's possible. It's not like we're that much above it, but if we close above that line, that is negated in my book. And again, the weekly is still strong. Broker dealers was really strong all day up until the last, half hour when everything got hit, but still up nicely. Again, nothing has changed here. Big picture, the monthly is still way overbought, way extended. The weekly, still consolidating bull until it doesn't. All right, oil here. So quiet day for oil, all things considered, up 0.5%. 80 is still really, really, really heavy resistance. If we get there, I have no trade. I have no horse in this race, but I like that you closed above that breakdown bar. That's always good. Could be a false break. But 80 is still pretty heavy resistance if you ask me. And then XLE was on the weaker side today. Don't like to see that with oil up. XOP gap and crap, pretty hard gap and crap too. So again, same kind of thing. OIH managing to be green, but still on the weaker side compared to a lot of other things. Uranium here, good rebound for CCJ up 2.6. URNM bouncing as well, up 3. I want to see where that closes the end of the week. And the NJ also bouncing up, holding that 200 moving average. Nat gas, again, doing nat gas things. So again, we hit that high yesterday, and then gap down, futures gap down too, which is a little unusual for a Wednesday. A Sunday night, sure, I see that all the time, but a little unusual for a Wednesday. But right now we're still inside of this, and we did not close above that pivot high, but I want you to look at the August. August did, so that contango curve's a little bit favoring the back month here. I have no horse in this race either. If it moons up to like 350, I'd probably be interested in taking it, but again, kind of that middle of June area is where this likes to top out, so just be aware of that. All right, DXY here, good recovery after a pretty good sell. So we got punished, and then we just kind of came right back up. So again, the dollar continues to be strong, and again, this weekly is still very good here. So no real problems with the dollar. It's been in the range lately. Gold, we actually got a scalp off in the trading room on this earlier. Backed off the highest, lower high, and I think gold wants to test 2250. So I do think gold comes in. Silver also kind of rejecting at the highs too. Still up 1.5%. But if we start going sideways here, we can push through that 50 MA, and then maybe down to 2820 would be kind of your next area there. Platinum here, a little oversold in the short term, but that's what it does. It goes overbought, then it goes oversold, and then it does these things. I think 950 is decent support for right now here, and then palladium here. Getting close to that double bottom. We'll see if that does get down there. Could be interesting. And then copper up earlier, but backing off pretty nicely, up just 1.5 pennies right now. Again, I still like my levels still lower, around 425. And then Bitcoin pulling back like everything else, but still up on the day. Still inside of that green. If we lose that, then it gets short-term bearish, daily chart bearish, but it's holding up nicely. So nothing really terrible here. Weekly is still really strong. So again, let's just take a look here. So it looks like the market's bouncing. Yeah, market's bouncing up a little bit. No real problems at the moment. Good decline though. Got about 10 minutes left in the day. Yeah, 54.20 to 25. We'll probably close below 54.20 is my guess. But either way, market's holding up here, and a really nice rally. We've got to probably chew through a little bit of range here, I think, before we go higher, but I do think we will. But 54.50 is probably some pretty good resistance here for the rest of the week, and maybe even going into OPEX as well. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.